The Outdoor Wisconsin Banquet is coming up in February, and this week we'll feature 2 outings sold at auction at a recent Outdoor Wisconsin Banquet. We'll lead off with a chukar hunt at the Highlands Sportsman's Club in Cascade, and follow that with a Lake Michigan charter fishing trip aboard the Sorry Charlie out of Sheboygan. And we'll wrap up the show with an archival segment from 1986 as Nancy Frank looks at winter bird feeders with DNR naturalist Bill Volker. I'm Dan Small, and it's time once again for Outdoor Wisconsin.
Summer to fall, winter to spring, from Green Bay to where the St. Croix sings, from Kettle Moraine to Superior Shore, Outdoor Wisconsin, Outdoor Wisconsin.
Each year for the past 7 years, the Highlands Hunt Club in Cascade has provided a hunt that we've auctioned off at the Outdoor Wisconsin Banquet. Attorney Mike Hupy was the high bidder for this hunt, and he and Adam Wegner joined me and Debby Wolniak for a chukar hunt with guide Jeff Lemonis. For a change of pace, this year the Highlands offered to give us a ride out to their East Moor field in a horse-drawn wagon. So to start off our hunt with a flare, Renee Stats Gilmore and a well-mannered percheron named Odin met us in the Highlands parking lot. Well, gang, here's our ride.
Looks good.
Let's get on.
All right.
Hello, Renee.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
How's Odin today?
He is excellent.
All right.
He's ready to work.
All right.
You guys for a ride. You everybody down? You betcha.
We're all set to go. Good to go.
Here we go. Hep, hep.
Well, Adam, I'm glad you could join us on our annual hunt here at the Highlands.
Well, Dan, thank you very much for allowing me to join you. I was really looking forward to it.
Well, we need somebody who can hit these birds. Now, we're after chukars today. Have you hunted them?
I've never hunted chukars myself. No, I have pheasants, so hopefully they're not too different.
Well, they're smaller and maybe a little faster. Otherwise, very similar.
Well, I guess we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Now, are you looking forward to the hunt, Michael?
I am, and this certainly beats a long walk, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. In fact, I didn't know we were taking the sleigh out today, so to speak.
Well, the sleigh will come in 2 weeks when there's snow on the
That's
ground.
true.
We have the wagon today.
But good alternative.
Very good alternative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Odin, thanks, pal, for a great ride. Yeah. We'll see you again soon, I hope, huh? Man, he's big. Whew. Renee, thank you.
Hey, it was nice meeting everybody.
Yeah.
Have a good hunt.
We will. Thanks a lot. It's a great ride.
All right, have fun.
Well, Jeff, what's the plan here?
Today we're going to be hunting chukars. We're going to head down to the first strip of sorghum, and we'll line up, and we're going to turn 2 English pointers loose. One is named White, one is named Red. White is a 5-year-old, and Red is a 3-year-old.
Okay.
And we're going to turn the dogs loose, follow them, and they're going to find and point birds for us.
All right, and we're going to shoot them, right?
That sounds good.
Plan, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Oh, there's a point.
All right. Here. Up.
Oh, there's a point.
Easy.
How far ahead are they usually in this wind?
I'll relocate him. He's looking around.
Dog on point there, Dan.
Whitey got one, or is he just watching Red? Oh, he's running ahead. Easy, easy. He's right here ahead of me. Heads up. There he goes. Nice shot, Mike. Well, Mike, you made a nice shot on that chukar.
Thanks, Dan. And I wanted to tell you my son Rex couldn't be here today, but he has a present for you.
Really?
About 5 years ago, he made a wallet for me out of duct tape.
Yeah?
So I can put my hunting license in and never lose it.
No kidding.
And he made one for you.
Well,
so
isn't that sweet?
put your hunting license, your driver's license, a couple dollars, your credit card, and you'll never lose your wallet when you're out hunting or fishing.
It's a perfect hunter's wallet. I appreciate that. And you know what? Duct tape, right?
Duct tape.
Red Green would like this too.
Well, we can get him one, and we can get some of the other guests one too if they'd like one.
All right. But Mike, there's nothing.
No money in it. No money in it. But the price was right.
Yeah, goofball. All right, hunt him up.
Bird!
Took a couple of shots to hit that one.
Nice shooting. Here, you can take it.
Thank you, buddy.
Dead bird. Here. Oh, red's on. Right behind you, Deb.
Oh, right behind me? Sorry.
Move over. See what's there.
Oh, I'm walking right on it.
See what's there.
Shoot him. Chukar! Nice. Come on. Attaboy. Here. Attaboy.
Beautiful pheasant, but that's a black phase, right?
Yep, melanistic.
Well, Adam, you made a great shot on that bird.
Well, thanks, Dan. Like I said, just gotta remember stay out ahead of them.
Just get a little bit in front of him. Yes, sir. Well, that was a surprise.
Yeah, it was.
Chukars
Nice
and
surprise.
All of a sudden, a nice rooster.
It's a neat looking bird.
Yeah, it is. Take that home to Britt.
Sure.
Here, we'll put it in your vest.
Sure. Got,
Jeff, do you have a dog on point over here?
Yeah, red must be on over there. You gotta kick around. It's in there.
This is what a chukar looks like. They've got barred feathers on the flanks and kind of a black mask and chin strap and buff colored belly, slate on the breast. Very pretty bird. Chunky and very good eating.
Wow. Who got that one?
Adam shot it.
Oh, Adam.
Well, I did pull the trigger, but I know you were on it.
Attaboy. Come here. Come here. Attaboy. Attaboy.
Now that's a traditional pheasant.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Nice point, nice shot. Way to go. All right, hunt him up. Hunt him up. There it is. Here. Here. Come here, Red. Here.
Can't see you, boss. I got a wing in my face.
Nice shot.
Thank you. Well, that was a surprise. Well, he
Short
got the tail off of that baby, didn't he? And Adam, thank you for holding your fire on that.
oh, you're welcome. It was. You looked like you had her covered. No sense taking a swing at it.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
safe.
you were just a little behind me, and I saw you come up and then pull the gun down, and I knew I had a clean shot. So
Yep.
that's the way to do it. That's why we're wearing orange, and we all know what our field of fire is here.
Yep. Safety first.
Good shot, Dan.
Thank you. Well, what else?
Let's head towards the hill.
Okay. Head for the hills, Mike.
There we are. Our last stand.
Come on, bird.
You run out?
He could still be in here. Where are the dogs looking?
It's hit. It's hit.
He's down.
I shot a hun. What's that?
Nice shot, everybody.
There's a hun. There's a hun back there.
Everybody is right. I thought that was a Hungarian partridge, but that's obviously the one that
Yep.
they just shot. So had us fooled, didn't it?
Sure did.
Well, Deb and Mike, I'm glad you guys were last in line on this bird. You brought it down.
We had a great time. It only took 4 shots, but we did manage to get the last bird of the day.
And a great hunt.
Yes, it was great.
Well,
It's always
thanks
good to
again
be out
for-
at Highland.
It certainly is.
always
Thanks
good to
again
be out.
for all your support of the banquet, and Maybe we'll do this again next year.
It's a fun time. If I'm the high bidder, we'll do it again next year.
All right.
All right.
We're going out of the port of Sheboygan today on Lake Michigan on the Sorry Charlie with Captain Randy Even and Chris Powell, who bought this trip at the Outdoor Wisconsin Banquet last year. Chris, did you ever think you'd be enjoying a beautiful day like this in Sheboygan?
No, never been to Sheboygan before.
Is that right?
No. I've been on out on the charters on 2 rivers before, but glad to be here though.
All right. Well, Randy, what's the plan today? Got a calm day. It's middle of June.
Hello. Looks like Mother Nature's giving us a really nice day here, Dan. Very nice. We're going to enjoy some nice flat water and put some board rods out and see if we can't find some steelhead.
Okay, steelhead.
Steelhead with some mixture, some lake trout. And maybe, if we're lucky, a coho or a king mixed in.
All right.
Maybe if we're lucky.
Now we have to go out a ways for that, right?
Yeah, we're starting the 200 range of a foot of water and work our way out from there. Use our GPS and our plotter, and if we find a few fish, and go back to them.
Okay. That means several miles, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Now, Chris, you brought your family along.
Yeah, I brought my oldest daughter Audrey, and I brought my mother and father come along. They'd never been on a charter before, so.
Going the other way. Keep reeling, sweetie. A little bit more. Okay, Audrey, now just lift up the rod real slow. Keep lifting. Keep lifting.
Okay. You having fun? You want Dad to bring you out again? All right, well, maybe he'll come to our banquet again next year and join us again on another trip, and you can come along. Would that be fun? All right. Well, Trevor, that fish came on this diver, didn't it?
Yes, it did. This is the new slide diver light bite that we just came out with, and it's pretty versatile. The biggest advantage of this one is you can adjust your lead length. So when we're fishing steelhead like this in shallow water, we get our lead lengths away from our boat and then actually catch some fish. So I'll put it back in the water. Now the first step into putting it in the water is that the line runs through it, is that we can run our bait back as far as we like. So I'm gonna do this whole diver in my hand. I'm gonna put the bait in the water, let it right out the back of my boat, and I'm just gonna feed as much line on it as I want. So we can go anywhere from say 5-6 feet all the way out to 100 feet. Right now we're running them back probably about 40 foot in the shallow water. We're only running our divers down probably, in the top 15 foot of water right now to catch these steelhead. So now once I got my bait where I want it, I'm just gonna set my diver, I'm gonna set my light bite arm in place, the line is through it, I'm gonna lock it in place, now my diver's set to be put in the water. And you can adjust the bottom of it for the weight for which side of the boat. I have it for running on the starboard side of the boat. It's my inside diver, so I have it set at about maybe about 2.5 setting. And what I'm gonna do is now that I got my lead out, I'm gonna grab my rod.
Now before we do that, how does it show us how it trips?
I can do that. What happens when a fish will strike it is you have this way, and then what happens when a fish strikes it, it's just going to open it right up. It's going to slide right up, really. Just like that. A small fish, all the way, to maybe about a pound salmon or so, can open this diver up. Then you lock right back in place, and it's set to go.
Now, why doesn't it trip when it's actually fishing out?
What we've done is we've set a trip tension screw right here, and that sets this arm for your pressure of your boat, for the speed of your boat, and how much pressure you're putting against it. But yet we can adjust our back arm for our bait side of our diver, so when a fish does strike it, he just opens the diver right up. Any garbage, any weeds get on your baits, it'll open your diver right up for you.
So you're not dragging a fish for a long time?
Yep, you're not going to drag a fish, you're not going to drag any garbage on your baits. Keep your bait in the water and catch some fish.
Pretty slick. Well, let's get it in, catch another.
Here, please. Sit up there. Sit there.
Ow.
How does that feel?
Didn't do my stretches this morning.
Nice Laker.
Thank you.
Yeah, here he is. Come on, fish somebody.
Alright. Woohoo!
Keep it coming.
Steelhead, huh?
How's that?
You want to hold the steelhead?
You want to hold him? Squeeze him real hard. Real hard. There you go.
Well, Randy, you and Trevor showed us a great day. Thanks a lot.
Well, glad to. That's what we're here for. This catch is pretty much common as we've got, as of late, lake trout and rainbows, and we've definitely lost more than what we caught.
We sure did. But boy, we had a good time. Did you guys have fun?
I had fun. I had a good time. I'd do it again.
All right. Well, Chris, come to the banquet again next year?
Yeah, I'll be there. We'll be donating another guide trip. So.
Well, great. And bring your superstar.
I
Audrey
will.
caught
I
most
will.
of the fish.
She'll have a great time.
Audrey did a great job. 4 for 4, Audrey did. Yeah.
Each week during our 26th season, we'll feature a segment from one of our earlier years. In this week's segment from 1986, Nancy Frank visits DNR naturalist Bill Volkert for a look at birds in winter and bird feeders.
Not all of the birds that we see in Wisconsin during the summer stay here during the winter. Many of them migrate, but some of them don't. And here in the South Kettle Moraine, we're talking with Bill Volkert, a Department of Natural Resources naturalist. And Bill, what are some of the conditions that wild birds have to put up with in the winter here?
Well, first of all, of course, winter is our coldest season, and for Wisconsin is also one of our longest seasons. So the cold temperatures is one of the prime things they have to put up with. And of course, they are well insulated against it. Certainly the feathers is what keeps the birds warm, and I'm sure many of us are familiar with that with our down jackets and sleeping bags.
I've got one of those on right now.
Sure, it's excellent insulation for us, and the birds, of course, had that trick first. Not only that, but food can be hard to find. With the accumulating snow, it tends to cover up a lot of the food for the birds. And then also, we have some rather short days and very long nights. And of course, birds feed only during those daytime hours, and so they have to find enough energy to keep themselves warm and to keep themselves active and be able to sustain themselves through those very long nights.
What are some of the kinds of birds that we'll find this time of year?
Well, among the songbirds, the chickadees, the cardinals, they remain with us all year long, as do the woodpeckers and nuthatches. And then we get the invasion of our true winter birds, those birds that winter here in Wisconsin, this being more or less a southerly climate for them, and they'll return back to Canada again for the summer breeding season.
Over there at the feeder, I see a cardinal. Can you tell me a little bit about him?
Well, that's of course one of the most colorful birds we have in Wisconsin, and I think that's always one of the favorites around the feeder. The cardinal is a bird that will remain around the local area throughout its life, so he's not a migratory bird. And in fact, the cardinal himself has been advancing further north as the population is becoming either more adept at tolerating the winter weather, or probably aided also by winter bird feeding.
Bill, I understand that you have lots of different birds coming into your feeders here.
Well, a good variety do visit, and it's of course the food here that does lure them.
What types of birds do you see?
Well, there's a good number of the finch varieties, the woodpeckers, the blue jay, cardinal, house sparrows, a variety of common and uncommon.
Do they come into specific feeders or foods?
Yes, most of them have a definite preference for the food, and each one will feed then at a different part of the feeding station.
Should we go take a look at some of them?
Sure, let's.
All right.
Well, here's a couple of different kinds of feeders. The first one we're looking at is a suet feeder. Now, suet, of course, is something that's easily available from the butcher and usually given away either at low cost or nothing at all. This one has a screening in front so the woodpeckers are able to cling to the edge of the feeder, peck out the suet itself, and I've got a little lid on here, and all that does is keep the snow out and the squirrels out of it.
Do other kinds of birds use it besides just woodpeckers?
The chickadee and the nuthatch also will feed on the suet.
And that gives them a little extra energy for the winter.
Exactly.
What about this one?
Now this is another type of suet feeder, and by far the easiest type of feeder there is to make. Just a simple log of an average size. You bore out the holes with about a 3/4 inch drill bit, and every time you cook your hamburger and baking, you save those drippings, let it solidify, and with a knife it can just simply be pasted within it. So one thing you want to avoid with it is don't put perches on here, because of course the woodpeckers can cling to the side of trees. If you do that, the starlings will rest on them, and they'll be feeding as well.
Good idea. Let's look at this one.
Okay.
Looks like you have several different kinds of feeders here.
Right, these are the main seed feeders. So this one here has got just a general mix of seed. And let me just scoop a little out, show you what we have in it. The smaller yellow that we're seeing in here is the rounded little millet. There's cracked corn, and of course the sunflower seed. So this provides a little bit for everybody's diet.
Sure.
And you also notice we not only offer it within the feeder, but since birds get to be a little bit particular and like to have room while they're feeding, we always sprinkle a little on the ground.
There are certain species, aren't there, that like to feed on the ground?
Oh, exactly. The mourning dove, the juncos, the sparrows, they all prefer to feed more on the ground itself. But there's always one caution with it, since the food does accumulate down here. During the wintertime, with the persistent snow, time and again it will cover and bury it. But as warm as we've had it this past winter, a lot of this stuff will build up and it's exposed, and you do end up with a potential for disease problem. Birds do carry salmonella, and it is spread through the droppings or feces of the birds. And so when you have a lot of this stuff down here, it's a good idea to rake it up or throw snow on top of it and cover it. And when it starts to show up in spring again, rake that stuff up and get it out of the way.
Are these special feeders?
Right, this is the thistle seed, also known as Niger. Now this is the very particular feeder for the little finches. It's a very tiny seed, and of course we provide the perches on here with a little pecking hole and the tray to catch it underneath.
Why don't we go inside and get our binoculars and see what comes in?
Sure, good idea. One of the very common birds at the feeding station is always the house sparrow, as we're looking at now. House sparrow, of course, is not a native bird to Wisconsin, and in fact is not even a true sparrow. There are some 18 different varieties of true native sparrows in Wisconsin. House sparrow was imported in the middle part of the last century. And nowadays, of course, they have spread very widely throughout North America.
There's a ground feeder that I see regularly, a bird that tends to eat on the ground. It's the little gray, the slate gray. Is that a junco?
Right, and the junco is actually in the sparrow family. So he's a true North American sparrow and a regular visitor here in Wisconsin every winter.
Look there's a blue jay coming in. He's pushing the other birds out.
A lot of people do consider the blue jay to be a somewhat aggressive bird around the feeder, and maybe he does make a little extra room for himself. The blue jay, when he comes in, of course, he does tend to chase the other birds out, but I don't think there's anything to worry about because they do take their turn. The blue jays will come in pecking order, each one feeding in turn, and the flock, as soon as they've left, the other birds come in and join in again to take advantage of the feeder. The chickadees that we see around the backyard during any time of the year is probably the very same chickadee group or series of flocks that we have throughout the year. They rarely travel more than about a mile or so from where they're born. The chickadee, for his very small, tiny size, he's out there 24 hours a day. Even when the weather and temperature drops to a very severe condition for ourselves, 20, 30 below zero, which we may occasionally hit in Wisconsin here, the little chickadee, he's out there and lives in that weather, comes and goes to the feeder all day long. Something to us that is really a very adverse situation to the chickadee is the world that he lives in. Of course, the bird feeding is not essential for birds as far as their survival. They've always gotten along just fine without us providing that food. But of course, during winter, and especially following a deep snow, it does make the food a little more available. It lures them around the home, and it may aid a little bit within the survival of some of these winter birds, of course. And it brings them in close range so we can enjoy them.
The Milwaukee Muskie Expo runs from Saturday 12th through the 14th at State Fair Park, and I'll be there on Saturday and Sunday. So stop by the Outdoor Wisconsin booth to say hello, or pick up a raffle ticket for a chance to win a hydrojet-powered canoe from Wilderness Scout. For more information on the Muskie Expo or this week's features, log on to our website, mptv.org, and follow the prompts to Outdoor Wisconsin. Well, next time, Tom Neubauer goes ice fishing on Pewaukee Lake. I'll look at a wetland restoration project near Lake Mills, and we'll turn back the clock to 1987 as Larry Bandy gets a snowboarding lesson. I'm Dan Small. Join us again next week for Outdoor Wisconsin.
When the work in life is way too much, when you're in too deep and way out of touch, lace up your boots and get out of town, take a walk in the wild, or sit down and listen. Listen to the sounds of the critters of the night, the wind in the leaves and the little river run, coyote brother howling in the full moonlight. Outdoor Wisconsin. Hike, fish, hunt, camp, sail, canoe, ski, photograph, laugh, do what you want to. Stick your nose where the wild rose grows. Outdoor Wisconsin. Outdoor Wisconsin.